Hi everyone, Xray X1, and we are at part 11 of the Xray X1 build series. In this part we will be installing the steering servo. Now this part this is technically a take 2 because part of this was I was going to show you how to install the servo saver and how to assemble it. However, that has just turned out to be one of the most frustrating things I've ever come across. I've built servo savers before with the same procedure as this one, but it just did not want to stay together and it did not work, and honestly, I almost chucked the Bruce Banner and turned into the Incredible Hulk and just went crazy. That's how nutty it drove me. And so I have taken the servo saver and I have shot it in the bin. So what we're doing is I'm just going to use a servo horn. You can just use a servo horn. I was going to use a servo saver, but stuff it. Okay, so when it comes to servos, you'll need to use a low profile steering servo. For this one I am using a Hirosaka DC1 cordless digital servo. I got this off RC Mart for about 50 bucks. I've never used one of these before. It seems alright. It's got an aluminium case or main case with the plastic covers at each end. What I've done is I've put the the servo posts on. So there's those orange parts here. I already put them on. It's pretty easy, just a couple of screws, and they just screw in at the bottom to mount it to the chassis. I did it this way because I thought I was going to be doing the servo saver. It hasn't worked out that way, so it's on. I've also installed the servo horn. It's really easy, you just screw it on. And now what we'll do is we'll put this ball stud onto the servo horn. And what I might end up doing is I might end up putting I'll put it on later, a 3mm. Actually, you know what? I think there's a spare one in here. Yes, there is. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll open up the bag. This is the bag of spare screws and so forth. So, spare 3mm nylock nut. We'll just put this on the end here. Okay, so it's on just like that. Alright, so now the easy part, good old thread lock, just a little bit. Alright, so now we will mount it onto the chassis, and this will require our 2mm wrench or nut driver or screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I am very, very, very close to doing a Bruce Banner. Okay, next screw. You may have to loosen the screws a moment for a short period, just so they line up, just so it can fit to the chassis. bear with me folks. Okay, so we're going to have to loosen some more screws by the looks of things. This is all, none of these things, it's just a case of having to take your time. Alright, so we'll just nip them tight. Okay, so now what we'll do, now that that's in, just tighten the screws. Just remember that what you're screwing it onto is plastic, so it can break. Okay, so now just click it on. And there it is folks, that is the steering servo mounted. You may or may not want to add a shim in there just to raise that up a bit so it doesn't hit on anything, but there you go, steering's working nicely. So that's the end of part 11 folks. Sorry if I'm a little on edge. Trust me, if you've never done one of these servo savers before, just skip it and use the servo horn that comes with the servo that you bought. It'll save you a lot of time and frustration. So stay tuned for part 12 where, well, I think pretty much where we go into assembling the wings or attaching the wings and installing the motor. Stay tuned everyone.